Welcome inside the coach's office for another edition of the Pikiell podcast presented by Horizon. Rutgers coming off two fantastic wins on the road at Washington to wrap up a road trip out west and then come home for their 77th straight sellout. And they beat a good USC team, essentially outscoring them 95-85, doing everything you want to see offensively. Coach, how are you, sir?
Well, it's been a long couple of weeks, but it was great to be back home. It seemed like we had been away on that West Coast trip forever. I think we continue to get better, Jerry. I say that, and someone reminded me the other day we play the third toughest schedule in the Big Ten, too. So that computer keeps, spitting out a schedule that's, tough. And, with a young group, with the obstacles we've gone through, I'm real proud of our guys' development. We're getting better. But the crowd yesterday, can you imagine when someone hit me with 77 straight sellouts? I would have never, when I first took this job, I don't know if there's ever been 77 sellouts in the 50 years prior, if you add them all up. And to do that, it really takes a village. A lot of people have worked to do that, and our marketing crew, the dance team, the cheerleaders, the band, the environment that they bring, our season ticket holders, our students. How about our student section yesterday? As good as there's been, the energy in that building was just awesome, and I so appreciate that. But 77 straight. There's a lot of people that love Rutgers basketball and that are here for us, wins or losses, through the good times and the bad times. And I really, really, truly appreciate those people. So it was a special kind of night for us.
And you could feel it too, just like walking around the concourse and people buying food and drinks. There was a buzz to last night's game. And I guess too, when you play the way you did at Washington, and we can start there, you mentioned the 70 really good minutes on the road, and I couldn't agree with you more. I thought the first half at Oregon was fantastic, physically inactive, and then to follow it up with the 40 minutes there. How about the back-to-back games that you have put together against these, former Pac-12 teams, the way you've, defended but also scored and scored better than them?
To have, our guys be focused, it's been tough and a lot of choppiness to the season. This guy out, this guy in, that kind of thing. And we've really grown. And I think we went on that trip, and we did play well against Oregon. People remember the last 5 minutes, but we were in that game. Oregon's a really good team, first and foremost. He's a really good coach. They have older guys. They have huge size. Not having Emmanuel in that game really, affects you too. But we played with a grit that I love last night. Throughout the whole game, from start of the game to the end, just grit, toughness, energy, 5 guys in double figures. Bryce Dortch, who unredshirted himself, unselfish in this day and age, has a career high 9 points. Everybody, Mike makes 8 for 8 free throws down the stretch. Ace gets a big rebound and makes some free throws at the end. Lathan Somerville plays through foul trouble again, and it's a big block at the end or a challenge shot by Yates, who has been playing well. Dylan Harper all night long. Jay Will does what he does, gives us that fire and energy. Couldn't be more proud, and they've really come together, and we got to continue to do that. We probably play the 3 toughest games down the stretch here of any team in our league, especially going at Michigan, obviously Purdue, and Minnesota's playing really well too and got an elite player. So always a tough stretch, and this league is just good. People don't understand, just good, top to bottom, every single team. Just look at how it's bunched up. These are all elite programs with really good coaches, so challenges come everywhere.
Relentless is what this league is, essentially. There's no off nights. You can't just walk into a building and think you're going to win. So many guys, as you just pointed out, factored into this win last night. But one of the key things to me, and we talked about it on the postgame show, and we've done this a long time together, 26 for 28 from the free throw line, 26 of 28. You want to talk about foul shots winning ball games? Well, that team had no quit in them last night, meaning, who we play again?
USC.
Right, USC. And they make that little run at the end, but it's the free throws at the end, everyone in, aside from Tyson missing the one. You're going to win most games you shoot 26 and 28.
And first of all, to have the aggressiveness to get to the free throw line too. They fouled us at the end, but during the course of the game, Dylan going downhill, Jay Will going downhill, Lathan getting fouls drawn. The things you have to do during the course of the game to put you in that position to make 2 free throws at the end. Just, shows a lot of the growth too in our program. And we have made free throws on the road for whatever reason. Haven't been as great at home. And last night we were locked in. Never let them see an opening, because when you're missing free throws and they're coming down and scoring, but as long as we're making, we're in a good place. But we've grown a lot. This team has grown, and they've grown through adversity, and it's a good thing. Adversity makes you stronger, and they've come together, and it's a newly assembled team too. I keep saying that. It's, no one's back from last year that's been through these obstacles, so. Proud of them, and our free throw shooting, we spend a ton of time on it. It pays off, and the kids do too, and they get all the credit.
How about the fact, another thing we talked about in these post-game chats, Jeremiah Williams, maybe he's not going to go for 30 points or 25 points like Dylan Harper, but it seems like he puts himself in the right spot at the right time to make the right play.
He really does, and he's come up big when, after games, we have winning plays, like things that don't show up on the box score, that people don't see. None of the media write about it. But it could be like a blockout. It could be like a long rebound that he tracks down that leads to a three or a foul for someone else. It's a huge defensive stop where he's in his gap and he gets a gap steal helping his teammate who's getting driven on. Or it could be an assist. He threw one to Dylan Grant in the end of the Washington game where he got double teamed and he saw him, the old binoculars on TV, and he makes a lot of those plays. He's a veteran guy. He's been through the most. When he does those kind of things and we can keep him out of foul trouble, he makes winning plays for us, and no one ever talks about it. So I'm glad you are.
Yeah, well, because it's noticeable, and we get to sit and watch it courtside, and you see what he does. It's fun to watch. And Dylan, they've all been fun to watch. We talk about the scoring, but the 9 assists last night, the 6 steals. How about the plays Dylan made without the scoring, just everything else and getting guys involved?
He really did, and he started the game like getting people involved. And he's an elite scorer, as we all know, but he's shown times where he's really can, get his teammates the basketball in some good spots. They were jumping him. They were double teaming him at times. These are the things that we only play a team once, so you never know how guys are going to guard guys. So it's not like you could watch the film the next day and say, the next time this happens, do this, do that. He had to make those adjustments on the fly. He really shared the ball, and his gap steals and his ability to get in lanes and do that, you could see as his ankle is healed and he's gotten better and better. He's doing a better job in practice about getting help steals. Proud of him. 6 steals in a basketball game, 25 points. 9 assists. And by the way, the whole other team's trying to stop him too. So it says a lot about him. What Ace and he have to go up against every night and never knowing what it's going to be is a hard adjustment on 18-year-olds in a world of 24-year-old basketball players, pretty much. So proud of their development. They've gotten better.
It's interesting too. You talk about playing a team once now. Not only you only play them once, most of them, the teams are turning over so much. It's not even like next year you can revert back to this year's tape because all the kids are going to be different.
Yeah, I know. I hear, press conferences afterwards, and I hear coaches, talking. Mick Cronin was talking last night about one of his players, and he's like, I'm hoping he's here next year. Yeah. And I'm saying, boy, has college athletics has changed so much.
And so quickly.
Transformational in 3 years.
Yeah.
And that those are the things that coaches are saying during the season is like just mind-boggling, 5 years ago, we were talking about can we get cream cheese for their bagels, and now they can leave in 5 minutes. Crazy.
Think about put that in perspective. You couldn't help them out to go get a $2 bagel, and now it's well, it's a whole new world actually. All right, so let's talk about where you sit now with these 2 games, and you already alluded to what's coming up. You've got the Michigan game on the road, late start. Thursday night. Let me ask you from this point of view. You get Emmanuel back, and I thought it was perfect. You gave him that 3-4 minute burst last night, get his feet wet. When you're dealing with a guy like Wolf, or just the size Michigan has, how much, even if it's only 7, 8, 9 minutes, how much does having Emmanuel back help you defensively? I mean,
he's our best pick and roll guy too before he went down, with his injury. So he brings a lot, and he's 290 pounds of steel. When you play 2 7-footers, okay, it's a lot on a freshman, Lathan, and then Bryce Dortch, just to have another option that's the same size and probably stronger than. And he kept improving too as the course of the season was going on. So hard to lose anybody, but like you don't have many guys that are 4% body fat that weigh that can lift a building. And so to have him back, and now he got his feet wet. He had one practice. Now he's going to get a couple more, get him back into that playing rhythm. And that's why I thought last night was really important. Last night will help him against Michigan. And look forward to having him back, have another option coming off the bench that's that size that can run and jump too. So he does more than just, hit people and rebound. He's a problem.
I don't know if people so a lot of times you've got 4 freshmen on the floor. You start 4 freshmen a lot of nights. From where you came from in November, and it's a sprint now, to where this team is now, I almost forget that I'm watching so many freshmen on the floor. And then you play these teams that got these older players. How would you characterize the progress in such a short spurt and asking so much of 18-year-olds?
Yeah, I mean, the progress has been unbelievable because we added a 5th freshman to our rotation with Bryce Dortch, and so he wasn't even expected to play. Dylan Grant has made huge steps from a guy that was exhausted in practice, that didn't know how to defend the perimeter or the post, to a guy now that I put him in tough situations, and he responds. Lathan, where do you begin with him? 50 pounds he lost. That's first and foremost, and that's only been in 6 months. Like, that's the first miracle. The kid has that discipline to be able to do that. That gives him the endurance to play and to do the things that he's doing now. And then Ace and Dylan, as much as people, they have improved so much in so many ways. And Dylan had to fight through a million health issues, but Ace continues to be a better rebounder. He's a better defender now. He's blocking more shots. He's getting guarded by all kinds of different guys. They try to bully him. He's got to learn how to play it through bullies and different things. And Dylan sees something different every day. So the improvement, and then throw J. Mike on that. Yeah. He went 8 for 8 from the free throw line last night. That hasn't been a strength of his. He's making key threes. He made a huge one last night. He's improved. And I think Acuff, too, from his foot injury to now is starting to obviously be more comfortable. But that was only 4 months ago where he couldn't put weight on his foot. So we've gone through a lot. Improvements have been numerous. Our offense is at an elite level. Everyone used to complain about our offense, and now we're scoring at the highest level we have in how many years? 32 years or something like that. But now they complain. They used to say our defense was great. Now we got to. I love giving them something to complain about. That's the good part. Now we complain about our defense, which we were top 10 in the country for 4 years and took that for granted a little bit. But it's always a harder thing, that end of the floor, and continuity helps you the most with that. Don't have a lot of continuity, but you got to figure it out.
I can certainly make the case Lathan's block might have been one of the biggest plays in the game last night, and that's defense last time I checked.
Huge.
So pretty good.
Huge.
We have senior day. I cannot believe I'm asking you about senior day coming up in about whatever it is, 10, 12 days. But senior day already, and you look at it with, Zach and Jay Will and Tyson and PJ. Isn't that amazing that that's where we're at already?
I know. I mean, I always say to the guys, like, before you know it, and it goes fast, and try to be where your 2 feet are. Zach Martini's been awesome. I only wish I coached him for 5 years, 4 years. Jay Will has been awesome, played through injuries. Last year in the middle of the season, didn't know we were going to have him. What he gives us is energy and leadership. Tyson Acuff has come in and had to figure stuff out, had to fight through foot surgery in a short period of time. Has given us unbelievable. PJ Hayes has been one of the great teammates and kids, and whenever I throw him in, he gives us great minutes. He should think about coaching. I think he's got a little coaching in his background. I don't know if he thinks that way, but his journey's been unbelievable, and to be here at the Big Ten and to do and approach things the way he does, he's been a joy to coach. So they've all been great in a short period of time. I only wish I had them all for 4 years, because I think it would be really way different senior night with these guys for 4 years, because I think people would really appreciate them more.
Austin said something last night about, there were some great interior passes that were leading to easy baskets. And he said, boy, you can really see the chemistry has started to develop because it takes time. And it jarred a thought of, man, if this team was like the Gio and the Caleb and the like that group and Ron, not only do you have a chance to win, like, to me, that's a national championship favorite type of team in a couple years, but it's a different ball game these days, and you enjoy what you got.
Yeah, you enjoy the time that you have with them. It is a whole different ball game, and it's going to change a lot more in the next few months, and I'm thankful for that, and that there's a settlement, and that could help Rutgers basketball a ton. It's just a whole different kind of world. But you have to appreciate, and I appreciate not only these kids are great students. Like they go to class, they go out in the community, they go to the cancer center, they go to the homeless shelter. Like, no one ever writes about any of that stuff, and I get it because there's no clicks with that. Our world likes the other way, but those are unbelievable things, and they brought that to our community, and they have a home for life. These kids, I would run through a wall for all of them, and I'm thankful for these seniors, and I'm thankful that they picked us because they had other options to go a lot of places, and that's the part I really want people and fans to like. They picked Rutgers. There was a lot more NIL out there for them at different places, and a lot of different. They picked us, and I'm proud that they did, and thankful that they came here, and thankful that they 77 straight sellouts because of them.
And we will see number 78 in about, a little less than 2 weeks when you take on Minnesota. I look forward to seeing you in Ann Arbor on Thursday. I will talk to you soon.
We're traveling again, Jerry.
Traveling once again, exactly right. That'll do it for another edition of the Pikiell Podcast presented by Horizon.